By all accounts, Iran's response, while intended to be dramatic and to look like it was a show of real force, was in fact engineered and calculated by Iran to cause as little damage as possible inside Israel in the hope of avoiding, rather than provoking, further escalation. Here's the New York Times from earlier today. A show of might in the skies over Israel. Quote, Iran's retaliation for Israel's killing of senior military leaders was a highly choreographed spectacle, but fears of wider war still loom. The more than 300 drones and missiles that hurtled through Iraqi and Jordanian airspace Saturday night before they were brought down seemed designed to cause maximum drama while inflicting minimal damage. Which party seems to be the more restrained, the more rational, the more moderate, the more eager to avoid regional escalation? The Israelis that bombed the Iranian consulate in Damascus and killed senior leaders? Or Iran, which deliberately responded in a way that seemed dramatic, seemed to be a resolute show of force, but was one which in fact was guaranteed, as the Iranians both knew and intended, to cause almost no damage inside of Israel. Quote, just as they did back in 2020 when retaliating for the U.S. killing of General Soleimani, Israeli leaders this week gave plenty of warning that they were launching strikes. Iran also sequenced the attack, a retaliation for airstrikes on Iranian embassy building in Syria on April 1st, in such a way that both Israelis and Americans were able to adjust their arsenal aerial defenses once the Iranian missiles and drones were in the air. The result? A lot of bang, but relatively little destruction on the ground. Few of Iran's drones and missiles found their intended targets. The fact that there was no damage was at an accuracy level that military experts and defense officials say was probably by design. So unlike the Israeli attack on Iran, which blew up their building and killed their senior officials, the Iranians responded in the most harmless and benign way possible, on purpose, by not using their most powerful weapons, by not using fighter jets, by not shooting missiles from Hezbollah, their proxy, which has over 100,000 highly precise missiles aimed at almost virtually every Israeli city. There's no doubt Iran could cause a lot of damage inside Israel if it wanted to. And the reason it didn't was because they purposely used the kinds of drones and missiles with advance warning. Everybody knew exactly when the attack was coming because Iran signaled it, that would be designed to avoid escalation. I have not given Joe Biden credit in almost any instance that I can remember over the last 6 months since October 7th. He has financed and armed the Israeli devastation of Gaza with no limitations of any kind, with no red lines, with no conditions, as he has done throughout his entire adult career. But it seems like American officials understand what Netanyahu tried to do here, to purposely spark a major retaliation with Iran that would then lead to a wider regional conflagration in which the United States would feel duty-bound to join a war fighting Iran, which is what the Israelis have wanted for a long time.